Hey y'all, Natalie here for Shimmerz, and today I'm working with the January color kit, and these new color kits are so cool, man. This one is screaming my name, Rustic Sparkle all the way. It has my green. I love to wear green and black together. Those are my jams. So it has this awesome Paige Evans cut file, which you can see me getting off there. I cut it in black. It's very intricate and awesome. So my plan is to gesso a little bit larger space than the circle and then ink it up and get messy with it here. I'm going to use my scraper to get the gesso on, but then I'm going to smooth it out with my fingers because I did want like a smooth circular motion all around, and I decided to use white gesso. I've been using clear mostly, but there's words on that page and I just thought it would be good to like soften them up a little bit. So I get that going, and the color in this collection, I'm just telling you y'all, it's my jam. So the green spray is called Into the Woods Vibes, and you'll see here in a minute whenever I start putting it on, you are supposed to roll the colors so that the sprayer doesn't get clogged, but also I was trying to get the pigment at the bottom. It's like the sparkle and the shimmer, so it kind of settled at the bottom, so I did have to like kind of bang it a little bit to get that up in there. So I'm showing you that I'm gonna go around and kind of color block, and not perfection at all, but I'm going to kind of color in the spaces that I want the colors to show through the circle, if that makes sense. So I'm starting with the Before Dawn Vibes. This is a black pigment, and don't be worried when you hear black, because you can actually spread it out, and it's this like shimmery, charcoal, silvery, really gorgeous color. So it also does really awesome black splatters, which you will also see here in a little bit. So I'm using that. For the water portion of the cut file, I'm going to use a mixture of the Foreshore Creamies and the Silver Fox Shimmerz. Over there where the tree portion is, it's going to be Into the Woods Vibes and Sage Advice Shimmerz. Both of those are so pretty. And then up at the top where the sunshine is, I'm going to use the Sheer Bliss Inklings, which it calls it a skin tone. It also looks a little bit, yellowy, beige. It worked for the sun. So, and all of this is going to be covered up with the cut file. So it looks like a little much at first, but remember, it's going to be covered up. Also, I love the hard lines. You can spread all of that around and let it dry naturally and soak up a lot of the excess liquid and let it dry naturally, and you'll get the smooth watercolor look. I like the hard lines. To me, especially in a layout like this, it reminds me of like a topographical map. So I use my heat gun a lot to move the color around and get those hard lines. So it's just your preference and playing around and figuring out how your colors work. So now I'm working on the water, and this, you can't even describe the shimmer and the glitter that is going on down here. It's so pretty. And I'm just, I'm trying to show you how to use the entire kit, but you can also, isolate a couple of the items from the kit and make something more simple and really elegant and gorgeous. These colors are all very rich and vibrant, so I really appreciate that. So that got a little drippier than I wanted, which I love gesso, because look, all I did was add a little bit of water in my paintbrush and like smoothed it out. And so I got rid of those drips that were not along the lines. I know I'm being so picky here because it's like, I like hard lines, but that had too many drips. But I don't know, I've just been doing this for a little while, so I know what I like and I know what I intend for it to do. And even though it's mixed media and you have to be okay with what does end up happening, I also like to control it. Like here, I didn't really want any colors to mix, so I ensure that I completely dry each section of color before I move on to another section. And you can see there, it doesn't really go outside of the area that you add the water. And so I added the water not touching the black, and it leaves this cool little barrier there between the black and the green. So if you're careful and you control it, you can do that. Blowing it with the air will get it outside the lines a little bit, but again, like I said, you can kind of control it with where you place the additional water. That's where the ink will tend to run. And then I'm just doubling up on the layers of color here to make this Into the Woods more intense and more a darker green. You can apply multiple layers once the bottom layer is dry, and that will intensify your color. So this video is a little bit long today, but I didn't want to take out any of this background making, because if you want to know the difference on how to make hard lines versus soft lines and things like that, it's good to watch. So now I'm going to go in with the Sage Advice. This is a Shimmerz color. So the Shimmerz colors are already liquefied. They already have the liquid in them, so you don't have to add additional liquid. But I do, because I like to get a lot of liquid in there and like roll it around, you know. So you can see that's a different color green. It goes really well with the Into the Woods vibes. Different shade, but it's so pretty too. To me, the vibes are more maybe translucent, and then the Shimmerz are more opaque, especially if you don't add water to them. They're very opaque. So you'll get a richer color maybe if you don't spread them out as much or use water. I personally just love to use sprays. That's my go-to usually. Okay, and here I'm going in with the Sheer Bliss Inklings. It also has like a gold tinge to it because it has the shimmer in it. So you'll see when I start embellishing, I decide to go with gold as part of the color scheme here. Plus, I really always, like I say, I like to mimic my style that I wear in my arts and crafts. And so my favorite thing to wear is like olive green or like army green and black and like a touch of chestnut brown or some gold or something like that. So when I said this was my jam, y'all, I wasn't joking. This kit was made for me, I do believe. And then I still have some of the gesso out there, so I just decided to add a little bit more green. I did want the green to kind of be the star of the page, so having another section with green over here on the side, even though it is on the mountain portion of the photo, the cut file, I'm cool with it. Okay, now here I'm adding splatters, so everything is dry, but I like to add the splatters as well, and you can see how well that black splatter happens. I know you see a lot of people use their nozzle to splatter. I don't really like the splatters. I don't know if I'm doing it wrong. I'm probably doing it wrong, but I tend to get like these rectangular dash splatters, and I want more like a circular splatter, so I spray it. Plus I just got this new mixed media mat, so that really helps. I spray it and then just use a paintbrush, and I tend to get more circular tiny dot splatters like I'm looking for. And you can see how the color intensifies with the splatter because you're not spreading it out with the water and stuff like that. So I'm showing you a close-up. I just like those hard lines. They're so fun to me. All right, and let's speed her back up here in a minute. Here we go, showing you how the cut file fits perfectly. So you got the trees in the green, you got the sun in the yellow. Here we go, let's speed it back up. And I put glue all over the back of that. It is a gessoed page, so I had to use my Nouveau glue. It sticks really well. Once it dries, it's good. So now that's my photo of my kids' feet on an adventure we took. Because I like green, I really love it when we get patches of moss. So I had just taken a little picture of them with their hiking boots and some moss. And I wanted some darker around the edges, so I grabbed this wood grain paper from Wild Whisper, and I just ripped off the top of my page, and I'm going to rip off the bottom of my page, and just kind of like border it and give it a little pop of the dark color to kind of mimic the black that I used for the cut file. And at the bottom, you'll see me being really careful because I want to make sure that the page doesn't go outside the 12 by 12 specifications that will be required to fit inside a page protector. So obviously I'm not going to waste a whole sheet. I'm frugal like that. Like, I don't have enough paper, right? I don't know about you guys, but I'm a scrapbook hoarder. And there I am trying to like make sure that I don't get it taller than 12 by 12 so it'll fit in the page protector. And these pages do crumple up when you put the liquid and stuff on them. Adding a background page like this will help to make it uncrumpled. It will also help when you put it in a page protector, flatten it out eventually, especially if it's in like a heavy album. So this kit comes with these awesome, cute, tiny button embellishments. And so I decided that I was going to use them to fill in these clouds. So I grabbed a few other gems and sequins from my stash, and I filled in the clouds with the buttons and all of the rest, and now they look like little jeweled clouds. So that was fun. And now I'm going to start embellishing. So the kit also comes with these cute journaling tags, and I decided to use the journaling tag as a background tag. So I added some twine to it, and now I'm adhering it at the bottom of the cup file. And to mimic the craft paper, I use these cork alphas from my stash, Rome and Rove. That's what we do with the boys. That's what we try to do. And then I didn't have an and sign in those stickers, so I used this gold little plus sign, and I was like, let's bring in the gold with the sunshine. And so I cut these leaves out in a gold foil paper, and they're going to be a good anchor for the dots. So I put a dots down there, and then I'm going to put one up in the upper left hand corner as well. And you'll see me play around with where I'm going to put the leaf cluster, but then I decided that it needs to go at the top. There was no good place for it to flow naturally around the circle. But adding a little interest in the left corner worked for me. Oh, and that one down there too. So now we have like 3 bits of gold leaf around the page. So, you know, the rule of 3 little triangle. And I like that, using that dots to bring the green up there. And then I just grabbed some Heidi Swapp Wolfpack puffy stickers, and there we go. That's all I needed. It's a lot going on, but I love it. This was totally up my alley. I'm going to link up down below. I'm on the blog today over on Shimmerz. Every link you need is down there. Give me a like and a follow and a comment, and I love you forever. Thanks, y'all. Bye.